What's up, everyone? It's Thomas with Real Broker here in St. Augustine, Florida, coming at you live every Wednesday at 8 p.m., doing the local market stats, the news that you need to know about, and at the end, and sometimes through the video, doing a question and answering session. So if you do have questions, if you're watching the replay, if you're watching it live, please make sure to leave me some comments, some questions right below here, and especially if you're watching the replay, I will come back and answer those questions. So let's start off by taking a look at the market like we do every single week. So I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, share my screen here. Going to get into the MLS. All right. Now let's take a look here over the last week, see how things have changed here. Looks like we have 1,099 new listings and then 1,113 closed listings. So that's a 1-for-1 going more towards the closed. And then let's see, we have 1,099 new listings, 1,123 pending, and then also 478 contingent taking backup. So it's almost, 1 to 1.5 in that instance in terms of homes going on the market, off the market. And then let's see, we also have more price reductions than we've seen in the past couple weeks. But I think it's also probably a smart move if you are a seller right now, because inventory is more than likely going to start creeping up here as we head into the spring and summer market. But let's take a look right now, the total inventory on the market. I really like this graph here. Pulls up and it's changed. I think it's gone down about 300 homes here in the last week. So 5,692 homes available on the market today. And guys, that's really not that much given the population. This is including, this is Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Middleburg, Clay County. Jacksonville's a huge place, and St. Johns County is a big place as well. So that's not a lot of homes considering the population that we have here. But we should see some relief as we go through this year here. People should be bringing some more homes onto the market as we hit the spring and summertime. That's the hope we shall see here in the future. But it's pretty interesting how low the inventory has gotten. Now, 5,600 homes, it's a lot better than we were at last year. Last year, we probably had like 3,500 homes at this time. I'm sure we could check out an old live stream and see what that was. But that's definitely some needed inventory. But in certain buy boxes, like for myself, I'm looking to buy an investment property under 350 in St. Johns County, and there's probably 20 homes that are not in an HOA. It's not for a single family home, there's not that many options to look at. So I actually lost 2 offers. I lost 2 offers, both to cash in the past 2 weeks. So it is what it is. I said that on my last live stream, but let's go ahead and get on to the news stories here, guys. I'm going to share my screen. And this one we've talked about before in the past, but I just wanted to, I think I found a better article that really just outlines that St. John's is moving ahead with the changes to its workforce housing regulations. They got recommendations from the Northeastern Florida Builders Association. So what they had to do is raise the maximum price for what is considered affordable housing and lowering the amount needed for a project to qualify for a density bonus. So they're going to raise the maximum home price to $260,000 from $240,000 and lower the percentage of workforce homes in designated project from 30% from 40%. And then it says the maximum price will be adjusted annually based on construction costs. They're citing that, this is pretty much based because the cost of, just jobs in the area has gone up, cost of supply chains, and the cost of materials have all gone up at least 10%. So builders aren't interested in building workforce housing when the margins are too small for them, right? So you have to incentivize them in some way. But the problem is, stated in this article, is that the average sale price or the median sale price in St. Johns County is $526,000. And really for the income, most people are making probably somewhere between $45,000 and $60,000 a year. So unless you got a lot of equity in your home already, you got a whole bunch of cash saved up, making that payment on a $500,000 loan is going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible. Or maybe you make $60,000 a year and your significant other makes 150. That might be possible then. But yeah, so they're going to be changing that here. It's still not fully passed. They sent it in, and I guess the state has to review it and go from there. But overall, I think housing is going to get more expensive here in our area, and what is considered workforce and affordable housing will, of course, have to change with that, and what the wage increases have to change here too, which we've talked about before. But I think that's just really interesting. We'll see what happens here. $260,000 home, that's still a very affordable home here in St. Johns County. You might have to have your ducks in line there, but $260,000 is, average sale price is around $750, I believe. So if you can get a home in 260 here, you're doing pretty good, I would say. So let's take a look at the next news story here. Appreciate you guys being here tonight. If you do have any questions, make sure you leave them below. Here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. going over what we need to go over, guys. The news that you need to know about if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing. Let's take a look here. This is just a new article that came up. St. Augustine Beach named top 25 in the United States in new ranking. Man, ranking 13th. Okay, that's pretty high up there. I'm pretty surprised on that. So among 8 Florida beaches to make the list, Siesta Beach was number 2. Siesta Beach was number 2. Siesta Key, Henderson Beach State Park was number 6. St. Pete Beach, number 14. Panama City Beach, 18. Pensacola Beach, 20. Sombrero Beach, 22. And Clearwater Beach, 23. Topping the list is Hawaii. Okay. No other beaches in St. John's, Duval, or Nassau County were named, but St. Augustine Beach was. And, it's a beautiful beach over there. I just went the other week. Went and caught sunrise, and then also we did a trash cleanup day with Ancient City Alliance over there, so that was cool. And honestly, super surprised that we went down there. We had 8 people come with Ancient City Alliance, which is just like a little networking volunteer group that me and my buddy Kane started, who works for Pac Res Mortgage. And we say, hey, let's go get some trash bags. We'll clean up the beach. And we go down the beach, and we had 8 people, walked for about an hour, and we literally only came up with like 1 bag of trash. So they keep it super clean. And I was really proud of that, actually, and really surprised at how there was no trash available on the beach for us to pick up. But hey, that's a good thing. Good problem to have, right, guys? So let me share my screen again. We'll go on to the next news story here. Okie dokie. Boom. Okay, now this is a big one. We've been covering schools here in St. Johns County, what's going on with the, because there's overcrowding in a lot of the schools in the northern part of St. Johns County. So they're going to have to delay the new school that was going to go in the community of Rivertown till the 2025-2026 school year, which is a big bummer for a lot of parents in the area, because the reason that it got pushed and was originally supposed to open the 2024-2025 school year, it got pushed because of delays in building, labor shortages for skilled workers, and supply chain issues. But the reason that it was getting pushed is because that neighborhood got divided, and parents weren't really too happy, with their kids all going to one school at one point, and then they got separated. So kids that were hanging out in the same neighborhood, going to the same school, then got separated in 2 different classes, 2 different schools altogether. So the parents were not happy about that. They really pushed forward on this, and it's an expensive school. We're talking, I think the one bid is $65 million is what this went for. So they're definitely really bummed about this not opening as soon as possible, because I know that area is growing, and it's probably a lot of schools there are getting pretty crowded. All the schools there are, I'd have to double check again, but they're all up there, A and B schools. So there's a lot of demand to live in that area. So we'll stay up on top of that. I think it's a really interesting story here in St. Johns County. And then let's check out the Big Blue House, guys. The Big Blue House, I covered this back when the hurricanes happened. And the Big Blue House was the house on Volano Beach that all of the sand was eroded away with the hurricane storm. Nicole and Ian back to back, pretty much all of the sands, all of the dunes right in front and under this house, which is pretty much on stilts now, was eroded away, completely taken away, where you could see the foundation and everything. It looks like it's just sitting, 20 feet in the air, nothing under it. So the owner is saying he wants to keep it. And there's people, of course, that they have their idea of what people should do with their property. Some residents think it's not the best thing to do. Let me refresh this page. Sorry, this page always does this. But it's this house. If you can see this house here, I've muted this page just because it starts videos all the time. But you can see how high it's sitting up. And yeah, all the storm eroded all of that there. And the one nice thing is you got a pretty good view from the beach now on the road here. But you can see it's suspended pretty high. So that made news articles around here. I think the builder of that was Runk Construction, if I remember correctly. And he was like, hey, if someone wants to build out there, I'll build out there. And essentially the owner said, hey, I'm going to keep my house there. I'm going to do what I can and figure it out. So we'll see what his plans are. I think that's pretty interesting. And hey, those pillars there, solid construction, because they're obviously suspended over nothing. But I think that's pretty cool that the house is staying there. So let's head into the next news story, guys. If you have any questions, drop them below. Got questions about what's going on in the market here, questions about what I'm seeing here, new construction, let me know. Here every Wednesday, 8 p.m. And this is a news story that I covered once before, and I guess I didn't follow up on it too well, which is not the worst thing in the world. Hey, it's I'm trying my best here. But Airport Authority discusses bringing new commercial flights to St. Johns County. So the Northeastern Florida Regional Airport in St. Augustine could see commercial airlines as soon as June. This is all in the works, but there seems to be a really hard push to have this happen. They want to make it to 3 different cities: Raleigh, Durham, Wilmington, Delaware, and New Haven, Connecticut. So it would be good for tourism, good for people who live here, want to visit family. And I know they had Elite Airways was running flights to Newark, and almost every time I looked, it was booked. But apparently they shut that down, and they said it had to be reasons mostly to do with the economics at the time. So I'm not entirely sure what that means, because every time I looked, they had flights going to Newark, New Jersey, and I think Portland, Maine. And that's what I covered here probably about a year ago, maybe a little bit longer. And I thought that was great destinations because it worked for me perfectly. I know there's a lot of people from the tri-state area in our area here. So going up to Newark would be great. And then I hear Portland's a very, very cute city. So just tourism would be great there too. So yeah, I was surprised. But yeah, Avilos Airways would be the commercial airline to be here in St. Augustine then. The board has 2 meetings in March where it'll try to figure out the details. But no guarantees. I'm hoping that it happens because I think that would be a big bonus to our area. I thought it would be before. I guess something didn't work out there. It seemed to me that everything was booked because we look pretty often, but I could be wrong. Let's see. We got a question here from Debbie Williams. Debbie, how are you? Any more information regarding parking garage in downtown historic area? You have to elaborate a little bit more for me on that, Debbie. Are they adding another one? Are like the spaces in the downtown parking lot available? I'm not exactly sure what you mean, but I haven't heard anything if you're talking about them building another parking garage along with the Browdy's development on the other side of US 1 and West King. I haven't seen anything along those news stories and what's the developments there, but I will keep up on that if that's what you mean. Otherwise, the parking garage downtown is super easy to use. It tells you when it's filled. I think they even have an app for it. I haven't used it. I'm pretty good at parallel parking, so I normally find a spot, but very convenient. And then you can hop on the trolley and everything right there. So I think it's a great little resource. But Debbie, thank you so much for your question. If you want to elaborate a little more, let me know. We'll go on to, I think I got one more news story here, and then we'll be done here for the night, guys. So if you do have any questions, pop them on by. I'll be sure to answer them. Let's see here. Okay, let's go. Now let's go to talk about something that's important too. Rent in Jacksonville still going up faster than the national average. Rent increases are slowing nationally, but in Louisville, prices are still climbing by more than 8% in January. So rent increases are slowing nationally, but Jacksonville is continuing to see big jumps. Median asking price in the metro area climbed from 1653 to 1653 in January, a 7.5% increase from a year ago, according to Redfin, which has more data than a lot of us, but 20,000 apartments across the country. The median U.S. asking rent rose 2.4%. So we're still under the median pretty significantly here in Jacksonville at 1942. And they still went up. So we're here in Jacksonville. I'm in St. Augustine, but Jacksonville definitely has some really affordable options. If you're talking about housing, you can find a great little house in Jacksonville for just under $300,000. And then renting as well. I mean, average is $1,600 in Jacksonville. Of course, if you're going to be by the beaches and everything, it's probably going to be around $3,000. Probably a little bit more, a little bit less. But $1,600 compared to $1,900, almost $2,000 a month nationally, we're still doing really well, and we're also a pretty big metro. So that's a surprising statistic. I thought that the national average would be much, much lower than that, but times have changed these last couple of years, guys, right? Jacksonville's not the only place that has changed. So pretty interesting. Well, hey guys, listen, I don't see any questions, any comments here. So I appreciate you guys being here tonight. Here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. going over the market stats, the local news that you need to know about if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing here in our area, and doing a Q&A. So if you have any questions, if you're watching the replay, make sure you leave those questions below. I'll make sure to do my best to answer them. Hope you guys have a great Wednesday night. Until next time.